photographers take pictures. Others dedicate their lives to telling stories that outlive them. Welcome back to the PHYS Podcast. I'm your host, Tyson Martin. Today's guest is Niikai Wells, a New York-based documentary and portrait photographer whose work is rooted in one simple but powerful belief: that every image should make you feel something. A military veteran and visual storyteller, Niikai's journey into photography began as a way to navigate PTSD and reconnect with the world around him. What started as healing soon became a calling. In just a few years, Niikai has built a reputation for creating photographs that go beyond aesthetics. Images that explore humanity, emotion, culture, and the moments that often go unnoticed. His goal isn't simply to create beautiful photographs. It's to create work that stands the test of time and leaves a lasting impact on future generations. In this conversation, we explore photography as therapy, the responsibility of visual storytelling, the power of documentary work, building creative communities, and why the photographs that endure are often the ones that make us stop, think, and feel. This is a conversation about purpose, perspective, and what it truly means to tell a story with a single frame. This episode of the PHYS Podcast is brought to you by PHYS. PHYS is a nonprofit organization dedicated to advancing photography in the emerging field of mural arts. We believe photography is more than just a way to document our lives. It can be a tool for healing, self-discovery, personal growth, and even human connection. Through workshops, educational programs, community events, and research initiatives, PHYS brings together photographers, scientists, healthcare professionals, artists, and individuals curious about the transformational potential of photography. Whether you're interested in well-being, creativity, neuroscience, or simply the power of a photograph to shape how we see ourselves and the world around us, we invite you to join. To learn more, become a member, or support our mission, visit photophase.org. That's photophase.org. Now let's get to the show.
Hello, my name is Niikai Wells, otherwise known as Kai. I'm from New York, Queens, New York, Kew Gardens. We're on the map because we're in a couple of movies, so I have to shout out Kew Gardens at all times. I'm a primarily street photographer as well as portrait, but I am a jack of all trades. I don't turn down anything that's not of interest, might have an interesting story behind it, or anything that I might be able to get a story out of. My photographic journey basically started in I would say 2018 in a professional capacity, because that was the first time I was actually hired. But I have been shooting as a hobbyist since I was a kid. Kodak 110s, generic Canons, point and shoots wherever I could. And I was always get that little pat on the back. Oh, you take such wonderful photos. And then I went to a friend's wedding, and his second shooter canceled on him, and he asked if I could just, help him out. He didn't know that I had, not I, so to speak, but if I had an interest in photography, he's like, just catch what I can catch. Basically gave me people to follow around. And I was just, it was on auto. I didn't know nothing about, settings or the exposure triangle, nothing. It was on auto. I was just taking what I thought would be a good picture. So some of those pictures ended up being really, really good, to the point where I got feedback from the bride that she was crying. Like, I got the shot, which was like the apple of her photo book, which was the dance with her father, and the one teardrop and the light hit her face at an angle. I just happened to capture that photo with that emotion, and that kind of like sparked me to chase emotion, chase human experience. Like that's any part of the emotional any part of the emotion I like to capture. That's like why I hunt now. So that's kind of where it started.
Yeah, I love the fact that you just capture pure emotion on people on the street, like just these amazing portraits from what I've seen. And I mean, that's a skill in itself. Trying to walk up. I mean, you're a pretty big guy. I mean, yeah. I'm a big dude, and I'm trying to learn how to shoot people so they're comfortable while I walk up to them. And I find like a lot of times I walk up and they look at me and they have this like instant hesitation because of my size. And I'm like, oh, hey, I just want I just want to capture an image. You look great. Like, and then it's a really weird exchange of words to make that happen.
The exchange with me, when they look at me, they're kind of relieved that I'm not there to rob them. So that's number one. They don't even see the camera. I could have. I mainly shoot with like as my everyday carrier. M10 is very small, but they don't see that camera like until I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna take a picture, say cheese, like because in New York, it's really fast paced. It's really you have 4 seconds literally to do anything. If you stand still, you might get bumped. Somebody might punch you in the back of the head. They might pour coffee on you. You're going to get cursed out. That will kind of siphon the energy away from the moment that you're trying to capture. So I don't know if I could curse, but
yeah, no
cool.
boundaries here.
So I had a phrase, a slogan that I would yell out at people to kind of get the shock value. I would say cheese, motherfucker. They'd be like, what? I was gonna get the phrase coin, say cheese, motherfucker, on my shirt. And I would either get like they would be so surprised by the abrasiveness of the statement. I would get either a laugh, I would get like fear, I would get just an emotion. And 9 times out of 10, that's gold. It's gold. And it's harmless. It's harmless gold. As I said, 99% of the time they're just happy I'm not trying to rob them. So I'm like, oh, no, geez. Then you have these eclectic individuals on the New York City streets because it's very unique experiences where somebody might have an abstract fashion or they might have an abstract look. I really try to engage the conversation, which is a skill I learned from one of my mentors, Jamel Shabazz. I will always thank him for that, about engaging your subjects on the street and how you're able to get a better photo when you engage your subjects rather just trying to be called a street ninjas where you're trying to take a picture of the back of the head or side and you're not really. When you engage your subjects, you're 99.9% going to have a better photo. Unless you're really trying to do candid, that's what you're going for. Hey, I'm not knocking you. But if you have an interesting subject, hey, you look wonderful. I really want to capture this moment. Please give me a couple of seconds so I can get this. And then you chimp them. Hey, this is dope. Give me your IG, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But that little bit of interaction could turn what could be a fucked up photo to a magical moment.
Yeah. Well, if you put out some shirts that say cheese, motherfucker, like, let me know because I think that is the best thing ever.
I've been the last say since the pandemic, I've been kind of like slapped on the back to put that little bit of merch out. But if anybody wants to do it, I'm not, if it's free enterprise, man, we're in a dying race over here. Somebody could put like say cheese motherfucker in an AI picture, and it's like, I'm working on my book. That's my focus right now.
Amazing. What type of is it? Like a street portraiture book, or is it kind of a combination of all of your genres?
When I switched from the business side to the more artsy side of photography, which was right around the pandemic, in New York looked like an abandoned, just apocalyptic. It was chaos. So I am a civil servant, and I still had to report to work in the city. So when it went from rush hour, where everybody was on top of each other, to everybody now looking like ninjas, it just was so desolate in the city of where I work at, because I live in the suburbs outside the city, but I have to commute into the city to work. It was so depressing. It was so depressing. It was really hard to find any type of creative spark. If you take pictures of people's faces and everybody's covered up with a mask, it kind of kills you. It's no say cheese motherfucker. It's like, yo, if you come near me, I'm gonna die. Like I caught COVID a couple of times, after the first 2 times where I actually noticed it, but like I wasn't like really hurt up that bad, but I understand like the real fear, like the information wasn't there. You didn't know which information was truth, which was false. So just being outside is like, I'm back in Afghanistan or Iraq because I'm a military veteran. I had 6 years of combat. So that's another thing, like shooting help with my PTSD. I know I'm going all over the place. This is, it's part of the whole mental psyche.
Hey, you know
So
what? First and foremost, man, thank you for your service.
appreciate it.
My father was a Vietnam veteran.
So was
I
mine. My dad was a nutcase.
yeah,
He's a ranger.
yeah. My dad was a door gunner, and
Wow. I know
and
exactly what that is.
and these stories he would tell me, I didn't appreciate or understand when I was young. And the one thing I regret, he passed away in '99, and the one thing I regret is not listening more. So I have a lot of respect for anybody who's willing. I mean, I'm originally from Oregon before I moved to Canada, so I mean, I understand how important the military is to American families. I have brothers in the U.S. military, so I appreciate the sacrifices people make to keep it a free country.
It definitely was a sacrifice because I mean my reason for wanting to join, I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. It was totally superficial. I don't know how old you are, but there was a movie
I'm
in the
50.
late '80s, early '90s with Charlie Sheen
Okay.
called SEALs,
Yep.
and the reason why I wanted to be a SEAL was because he was in a tank for 7 minutes holding his breath. I thought that was like the coolest thing in the world. So my dad kind of raised me really regimented and rigorous. I was training for the longest since Pampers.
Yeah.
I didn't know it. It was regular life. Jogging, PT, weapons training, martial arts training, hand-to-hand combat, survival skills. My rite of passage was being left in the woods for a week at 13 years old. I had to find my own food, kill it, cook it, skin it. And that was my rite of passage. They took me upstate. I don't even know where I was. It was off the grid for a week. I'm pretty sure it was a campsite, but at the time you're 13, I'm over there like Rambo. Like so, but I survived. They found me. This is like '90s, so there was no like GPS trackers. It was like I had a countdown timer. So at when my week was over, I had a signal flare. That's how they found me. So I set up my campfire, it had a signal flare, and then that's how they found me. Like, so it was because a couple of us out there, a couple of kids, and we was basically out there like Rambo, like surviving for a week. So it was kind of bugged out. But anyway, um, pandemic, um, the world like towards the end of the year started to, in New York City started to come back to some semblance of normalcy. More people started, like, there was less deaths in the city. More people started going back to work. And one particular Brooklyn community near my job, it was around the corner from where my twins live. And I happened to go visit them to check on them, and I heard music. So mind you, it was like almost a whole year of no social interaction. I hear the music playing very loudly. It's house music. I'm a house music fan. It really, that music really does something to your spirit. It upliftment, the energy is great. So I walk around and I see a couple of people on their stoops in the brownstones, the whole block, they're dancing the house music on their stoops. They're still social distancing. A couple of people in the street, but with a distance, but the music is playing. That little bit of interaction, it kind of uplifted. Now I'll shout them out that it's on St. James Place in Brooklyn. The moniker of that was St. James Joy. So in a time of desolation, this older couple and their son, their DJs, were playing house music to kind of uplift everybody on their block. And that little interaction, it did something to the community, and it grew. like I think it was like at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock they would play bells like to signal all the emergency workers that were still working, the nurses and stuff. They would play the bells, they would start the music, and it grew to where there was almost 1,000 people on one little Brooklyn street, all dancing to house music to kind of get some. I got some great footage, and I kind of documented this for 5 years. And then also, I think that might have sparked it, but Brooklyn, this little area in Brooklyn, became the social hub for a community-based fellowship that hasn't been seen in like 10, 15 years. Because those same streets 10, 15 years ago were really, really rough. But also the landscape of Brooklyn changed because we have a lot of transplants, but it's different. It's elevated. The energy is a lot different. So I've been capturing that for 5 years.
Nice. COVID was such a weird time. I mean, I started shooting the year before COVID. And when COVID hit, I got laid off for 3 months. So I had nothing but time. My kids were home. My wife's a teacher. She was home, you know, so and I have 6 kids. So that's a lot of,
I got 5. So I know.
lot of voices going. So every morning at sunrise, I would grab the camera, and I live on the floodplain. So I have trails and animals and everything right behind my house. So I would just hop in there and I'd walk for 5 or 6 hours for 3 months straight. I learned everything about my camera. You know what I mean? Like everything. And now my camera is just like a second part of me. The importance of knowing the camera, so you're not like, oh, hold on a second, I'm almost there. You know, just that tactile, being able to go through the dial, switch settings quickly, and the time it takes to learn that. I had it all amplified into a 3-month window. So now I'm taking it to the steps where I'm trying to learn, like you said, you know, your whole like say cheese motherfucker, like that right there, to me, having something that, you know, catches people attention and they're like, what? You know, really will help break the ice, something in that similar tone and fashion. Because I'm doing a project with Harlow. I'm going to continue their street portrait project.
I love Harlow. I own a couple of pieces. I love Karan.
Yep. She's amazing.
Yes. I met her when she was still with Leica.
Yeah.
And I love Harlow product, and street portraiture is awesome. I will say, when you say the say cheese motherfucker, that might be only New York specific.
Oh, that is a New York thing for sure. Like I will change it up. But I like that because most of the time I talk to people and I ask the question, but they aren't an intimidating figure. Like you're a big guy, and you know, like you'd catch me off guard. You know what I mean? And just the fact that you're like, hey man, just like come up with something that catches their attention and makes them kind of like, what?
It was fun. It's funny. It's really funny. I said, the relief comes when they say, when they realize in their head, I'm not there to rob. That's the initial reaction. I'm big. I got tattoos all over. I got locks. I'm like 6'1". I'm like 350. So it's really, especially in the summertime. So that, you know, it depends on who it is. But for the most part, like I kind of evolved. I will hold the camera up and then hold a finger up, like, yo, give me a pose.
Yeah.
So either I'll never ask you, can I take your photo? I'll never ask. I'm going to take your photo whether you like it or not, but I'll give you the opportunity to make it a great photo so that I might be able to share it with you.
Yeah, I like that. You're my second photographer from Queens, actually, that I've had on. I had Michael Colas, Views from the Trap.
Really? I'll look him up.
Yeah,
I'll look him up.
Yeah, he's a solid dude. He's got an interesting story like yourself. So, so you're like a shooter. You shoot the red dot.
Yes.
So many.
I also like my paid work is with Sony. I started with Sony. Like my first quote unquote professional camera was a A6700, the crop sensor. I didn't know. I wasted a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of bullshit. Um, just I didn't have a mentor. I didn't understand the importance of having a mentor trying
Yeah.
to guideline you. I wasted so much money. Oh my god.
Me too, man.
Buying lenses, gear, get the gas, the gear acquisition syndrome is real. Everything you feel you have to have it. 7 bodies. I shot with Fuji. Um, that was the gateway drug that actually kind of sparked me to the red dot movement. Not to mention that my peers that I was around were all shooting red dot. So it's like, oh my god, like you are shooting and everybody is get, oh which one is that, which one is that one, and you sitting in the background with like a lampshade over you, like you're like the stepchild, and everyone's like, oh, I don't want that over there, and that kind of nips at you a little bit. But no, when I got I didn't actually, I spent a year since I purchased my M10, and then it's the first time I actually feel like I'm learning photography. Like it's kind of weird. Like everything prior to that was just pressing a button, but this was like I have to learn to compose. It wasn't the camera doing it for me. I have to actually focus manually. I missed after, I haven't been shooting that long, but it wasn't until I got that M camera. It was the first time I missed focus. I said, "Holy shit, I missed a shot."
Yep.
That was like groundbreaking for me. I was more proud that I missed a shot, and it kind of egged me to be better. So it was like I'm learning. I'm actually learning photography. I'm learning about exposure. Like I said, when I'm doing it myself, it's like, oh, okay, cool. This is so cool. It's a different experience. So, and then just the family's a different kind of family. You feel more inclusive.
Yeah,
In the
they're incredible.
inclusive in the brand. So that part was important. Like, you strive to be an affiliate or associated with a brand that you might enjoy using, and it's kind of like disappointing where you see that they promote a certain aesthetic and there's no difference between that person's aesthetic and your aesthetic. It's like I'm not going to say no names, but somebody that I was showing the ropes got acclaim before me. And I was like, wait a minute, I showed you how to, we were on the streets together, and this brand picks you up, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. But I was kind of seeking validation in that. And it wasn't really validation to be promoted from their brand. It's just acknowledgement. Hey, we see what you're doing. And there's only one company that I have shot with that has done that, and it's that, and I've been with them only a year.
Yep. I'm an affiliate for them. I got my affiliate link, and I was like, uh-oh, fingers in the honey, I'm here.
Yeah.
I don't own any. They are on my list to add. I waste my money on things like this right here.
The DSLR?
Nope, it's a Nikon Z9.
Oh, okay.
So it's their flagship monster, which is an amazing camera. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but I actually prefer taking like the old Nikon glass and putting it on my ZF and manually focusing so I miss everything.
I respect all Nikon shooters because they treat it as stepchildren, and I don't understand it. I haven't been in the game long enough to understand it, but for whatever reason, it's such like vitriol against Nikon. I don't understand it. Some like the real OGs that I know that's like maybe in their 60s and 70s that's been shooting for 50 years. They all have Nikons. They've been like DSLR. I don't know what. Like, I never used a DSLR that I can remember except for. But I'm like, I started with mirrorless, so I like for me, it's like again, we coming back. What you see is what you shoot, and when I got with the M, it was like an optical viewfinder. I'm like, what is this? What is this little square? Oh man, what's going on? Why everybody got 4 eyes? What? So,
oh, that's amazing. I love that.
I'm loving the process though.
Yeah, I came in on digital as well. It was on mirrorless. There was, I made a change. I started with Fuji, made a change to Nikon DSLR for, I think it lasted 3 weeks. And I sold it all and went right back to Fuji because I missed the viewfinder and the colors. And then I've been Fuji, and last 5 years. And last year I got super sick in the hospital and had to let go of most of my gear. And coming out, I was able to purchase a new camera. So I bought the ZF.
Mm.
And then instantly I was like, oh, there's something special about the fact that the color rendering that's coming out of this. And I've become diehard into, I've got 3 different Nikon bodies currently.
The ZF was creeping up on me, but it's like the form factor. For whatever reason, I like it has a nice vintage aesthetic, but I like the rangefinder style stuff.
Yeah.
I actually won a XT4 from a Fujifilm photo contest for street photography. I had it for a while, and then I got an X100V. I love that camera, but for whatever reason, it became like a market hotshot. Somebody made me an offer I couldn't refuse for the camera. I was like, oh, I love it. It was like, oh, here's double the price. I'm like, oh, you love it even more.
Yeah. That's why I sold mine too.
Listen, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
So you mentioned that you had a mentor in the legend Jamal Shabazz.
Yes.
My claim to fame with him is he followed my Instagram page. So, I mean, I'm in. That must have been insane.
With Brother Jamal, he actually was an online mentor before we even met for probably about almost 2 years. And he lives in Brooklyn. Like he doesn't live that far from, and again, same circles. But he gave me some advice, and we kind of have the same paths. He was in the military as well. I was in the military. He was a civil servant for over 20 years. I'm a civil servant for over 20 years. And he, the conversation started is when I went by his page. He had a picture of somebody I went to high school with, and a particular area of Queens where we hung out every day after high school. So if he had a picture of him, I'm waiting for my picture. That's what started. I'm like, if you and we pretty much had not the same clothes, but we know like the gamut of clothes that we would wear because there was a particular brand of clothes that we were wearing at the time. So I know that this is a time period where I was around. I just wasn't in the picture. So I'm kind of like, where's my picture? Maybe he took my picture. So I followed him, and then I asked him, I'm like, wow, like a lot of this stuff, like how come your street portraiture is like the eyes? It's not eyes of despair. It's people. And then he hit me back. I was like, okay, this is cool. He said, engage your subject in the street, have a conversation, get to know yourself, because again, you only have a couple of seconds to New York. But he's in the communities that I serve. I'm like pretty much local to Brooklyn because it's in my pathway of work or home. So I like to keep it, pretty centralized around one area. He was all over the city, but this interaction with subject was the same. You could see it from the poses that they were happy to take these photos, and that little bit of information that he gave me, I'm like, all right, cool. So anytime I asked him something, when he had time, he would get back to me, and then we actually met at Andre Wagner's exhibition at the Gordon Parks Gallery upstate New York. I finally met him when we got to chop it up before he presented, Andre for his gallery. And ever since then, I went to his exhibition at the Bronx Documentary Center. We chopped it up some more. And he's been very, very enlightening and imparting wisdom.
You can't ask for anything better.
Nah, man. So when people are telling me about the history and how long they were shooting, to do it that long, you really have to have a love and passion. Like, photography has become a love and passion. So I'm fortunate enough to not be in a position where I have to compromise my brand or ideals solid shooting for anybody to work for anybody. Like I could say no, like kiss my ass in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I think I'm blacklisted right now because of an interaction with with a creative director that was going above and beyond his call of duty to disrespect the staff. And I was like, I will fuck you up. Like, bro, I don't care about this contract. Like, we could have a conversation because you're not going to treat people like this. I don't care how high in fashion or what magazine you work for. We're all humans.
Yep.
And everybody, I can't speak on everybody else's station in life, but they're obviously taking this because they're in a position where if this gets taken away from them, they're not able to sustain any type of livable, meaningful occupation. Me, I'm not bound by that because photography for me is a hobby and passion first, and a job second.
Yeah.
So
Dude,
integrity over all, man. Integrity
we got
over
a lot in common, man.
Integrity over everything.
100%. I'm very, very actually grateful that we finally got to like meet, and that I can welcome you into the PHYS family of episodes. And I love your outlook on things. I love that I have a huge fascination with New York. I've actually never been. It's on my list to get there.
Please come down in summertime
this year, man.
It's summertime though.
Yeah, I'm good. You guys keep your cold snow.
It's weird. Spring, summer, come on down. Coffee, beers, whatever.
Yeah, but it's always cool for me because I meet people and I know instantly if it's somebody like that I would welcome into the other side of the life of PHYS, like the family side, because we got the same outlook on a lot of things. I'm the same type. I can, even if it is crucial for me to make that money at that moment to help support my family, I'm not going to be disrespected, and I'm not going to allow people to be disrespected around me.
Exactly.
So, I love that outlook. And, to see just the way you carry yourself, and the way you want to interact with people and capture true moments, it's going to be inspiring for so many people. There's so many people out there who are struggling right now with this exact thing that I asked you. When you walk up to somebody, how do you break the ice without them being like in total fear? Be
real and be yourself. Be honest with yourself and be honest with the people around you. Protect your energy and protect their energy if you have the propensity to do that.
Yes. Amazing. So you said you're working on a book.
Yes.
What is the book based on?
The book will be based on the last 5 years and then evolution of a small section of Brooklyn. Well, it's not small, but it's a section of Brooklyn of how it went from the despair of the pandemic to now the most illustrious social hub for community in the city at the moment. So it's like two areas of the city are kind of battling for, the social construct of togetherness, but Brooklyn seems to be winning because not only is it a fun time, it's they have small businesses in the area that they would shut down a series of blocks for just to support.
Yeah.
So it would be thousands of people out there just to help these businesses along the strip. There's 3 areas primarily that happens to. They're like small business districts that don't get a lot of foot traffic. So they will shut down the block, have a block party, and everybody would come and support these businesses to uplift the community. They have food trucks that they will allow them in these events to help support them as well. So it's building itself up. So I was able to capture I've been chronicling the last 5 years of these events. That's kind of like a step process from despair to excellence.
That's so cool that the community comes together. I mean, without community and, getting away from that competition aspect where you're trying to like just destroy the other person who has a company similar to yours, and you want to build around it by uprising around everybody. I mean, that's something that a lot of cities need right now.
Here's the thing, though. Steel sharpens steel. So if you see somebody that you might admire, you don't attack them with hate. You get inspired by what they're doing. you take a little bit of the inspiration, of what inspires you, and you adapt that to your own way of life, and to help you become a sharper. They might see your stuff, and then they might say, "Oh, wow, let me step up my game." That's how it has to be. Competition is a natural human interaction. It's going to be competitive. It's just competitive by nature, but you don't have to step on somebody else to get up.
Yeah.
You don't have to reach your hand out to bring them up either, but at the same time, with yourself, you could elevate yourself by just adapting and trying to adapting to what you see, what you enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I started using, I hate backstabbing in competition and people trying to step on other people. I love uplifting, and that's what the whole show's about. I mean, PHYS stands for Photography Heals Your Soul, right? It's about creating something deeper and more meaningful than just beating somebody at a game that's in your own head. Like you see an image, you're like, I'm better than that. Everybody does that. That's natural.
Yeah, it's natural, correct.
But to go and say you're pitching for the same job, and then that guy you're pitching against is sitting there talking crap about you behind your back to the people, trying to make you look bad. I have a problem with negative competition. Like if it's fair, if it's a positive situation, let's stay positive, and let's see the best person gets the job. But
somebody that was as a former recruiter, if I would see somebody talking negatively about the other person, I would assume that person that's telling me is weak, because it's like a little flag will pop up. Why are you talking about this person said about yourself?
Yeah,
that's a sign of weakness, a sign of frailty. And if you're doing that to that person, what makes you think you're going to do it to me?
Just to get ahead.
Just to get ahead, right?
Yep. I worked in a job where I was a manager and I had a GM, and I was coming up with these marketing ideas, and this was long before social media, and just trying to, and I'd go over them with them, and I'd be like, hey, we should try this. I think it's going to work. It's going to really bring business in. And he'd be like, nah. And then we'd have a big staff meeting with the owners, and lo and behold, there's my idea getting pitched. And I'd like look at him, and then at first I was like, well, I need this job. I just had my third kid. I got a mortgage. I got car payments. Like, I'm not going to rock the boat. Second time it happened, I was getting madder. Third time it happened, I looked during the meeting, I stood up and I said, well, I find it funny that every idea I bring to you bring to the bosses like it's your idea. And then, instant arguments about this whole thing. And I finally had staff stand up and be like, no, he talked to me about that idea months before he talked to you. And it was, then it was this thing, and I ended up getting fired. Right? So he could hold face. And that to me was the biggest kick right there, is that I was trying to build a business properly, and I got punished. Not only did my idea get stolen, I got punished for it.
But here's the thing. How did you feel after you left? You still had your head held up high.
Yes, sir.
So it's a bad situation, the way the world works. But at the end of the day, you still have your integrity about what you did, and you stood up for yourself. And that did more positivity for your own personal, for your own person, than you just getting shit on for the amount of time that you were there. So. And I salute that. Like, as I said, if you're able to stand 10 toes down in any situation, whether it's positive or negative, hey, you're definitely okay in my book, because your heart's always going to be in the right place. Your head's always going to be in the right place. The world might not be, but at least you know where you stand.
Exactly. And it helped build me into who I am. Like I'm still willing to share ideas with companies that I work for. And now, and if it happens again, I know I'm gonna say something. I'm not gonna just sit there, but I'm also smart enough to know, like, sometimes you just gotta let it slide so that paycheck comes into your bank account.
Time is hard out here. Keep your ideas to yourself when you can, and try to. I'm all about also retaining your own private equity in your ideas.
Yeah.
So it's not about selling it to companies. It's about figuring out how you can do it for yourself. at this point in the game. And having your own private equity in your ideas, it's going to allow you to be a lot more successful than shopping it to, giving it away. Because, man, I remember when they were telling me, oh, don't invest in the Apple, don't invest in the Google. BlackBerry is going to be it. They were research in motion.
Oh man. Yep. I remember that Apple's not going to last in the phone business.
What the hell is a Bitcoin? It's only $1.
Oh man. Yep. Exactly.
That one hurt the most though. I remember there was a ATM for Bitcoin on Wall Street, and you could get a Bitcoin for $1, and you would actually get a coin. Oh, it hurts. Oh, oh my God! And then they would give you like a little a USB that will be an encrypted USB. Just that's what hurt the most. I remember specifically seeing those ATMs of Bitcoins that were $1.
And I don't even know what it's at now, but it's ridiculous.
159,000 each.
Can you imagine? Spend $20, you'd have been set for life.
I got a friend that invested quite a amount of Bitcoin early, and he can't find a USB drive.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure it's over about 20 billion.
Oh Jesus!
I feel bad for him because I know that just to know that I don't know if his mom threw it out. I'm pretty sure he left it at his mom's house in a shoebox or in the closet. I'm gonna come back to it. I'm gonna forget about it. But I know he probably invested about $2,000 when it was $1. And he got the encrypted, and the only way to access that is through the encrypted USB. So I don't know how much more he might have invested prior, but I know that I hear about the 20 billion that it's worth. At least once a week.
Oh man,
I feel the pain in his voice.
Yeah,
but I know that I could, if I had $1 towards anything innovative in the future. For me, it has to be tangible. It didn't make sense at the time.
Yeah.
So I don't even gamble. Like it has to make sense.
100%. I'm the same way. You got any words of wisdom for people just getting started?
Yes. Take the science out of shooting. Shoot what you want and find your own eye. People will tell you to do this, that, and the third. Take a picture of what looks good to you. Keep on taking pictures of what looks good to you. It will naturally develop itself. Don't worry about the science. Just learn your camera. Press the shutter button. Period.
Love it. That's the best advice you can give. So many people get caught up in all the technical aspects of photography that it overtakes the fun and enjoyment of capturing what you love.
And also try to find a mentor. That's super important, and it'll save you a lot of money.
Yep. And new gear isn't going to really make a difference. A gear's a tool. And,
yes.
You find the one that works for you and you just go with it.
I wish I learned that lesson. I wish I learned that lesson when I first started. Oh my God.
Me too. Oh man, this has been great.
You only need one camera and one lens, and you figure it out. Learn how to shoot with the one camera and the one lens. You don't need all of that.
Oh man, yep. If I go back, my camera shop, the manager, she's become a good friend, and I went in there to pick up a lens, and she was like, have you ever thought about how much money you've spent in the last 6 years? And I'm like, no. She's like, just shoot your damn camera.
Let me tell you this one. I literally just paid off my B&H and Adorama bill. So every job from this point forward, it will be my first time getting profit. I started in 2018. So the next job I get hired for will be my first profitable project.
It happens, right? It just takes time.
8 years later. 8 years later, I'll finally be getting my first profit, whatever I get hired for.
Hey, congratulations, my friend.
Thank you. Somebody out there might be getting a discount just for Sigma purposes.
Where's the best place for people to find you?
I'm very active on Instagram. I love promoting stuff that I enjoy looking at pictures. I try not to get into the politics. At Niikai Wells, NIIKAIWELLS. Threads as well, but it's kind of toxic over there. I like talking my mess. It's the same social handle, and at Twitter, it not so much photo stuff, but I like talking shit over there. So I'm an avid Knicks fan. So if you want to talk shit with me, Twitter as well. So then all the same social handles at NIIKAIWELLS.
Amazing. Yeah, when you get your book ready to go and you need some help getting it launched, let people know it's out there, hit me up and we'll do a quick follow-up.
I appreciate you for that. Thank you.
Oh man, it's been my pleasure to have you on this morning. I wish we had more time, but unfortunately I've got to
life be life. And
yep. I've got to get my kid ready for school. So it's still dark out and it's really weird, but anyway,
5?
Right now it is 10 to 6 in the morning.
My man, shit.
Got to make it happen, brother.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, dude. It's just, it's really hard with the back east people for me because you guys are 3 hours ahead. And the only real times that work are early mornings because I got a full-time job still. So,
right.
You know,
I was looking at the schedule. I was like 8 or 10. I was like, shit. But see, it wasn't making sense to me because everybody knows this is in Toronto.
Yeah.
So I was like, once you go above the you have no idea what the hell's going on or what time hemisphere in or whatever. I thought that I was like, all right, well maybe he's 8 o'clock Eastern time. I was like, all right, so maybe he's like right before work or whatever like that. But it didn't occur to me that you're 3 hours behind.
Right. I do this so I love making my little dude his breakfast and his lunch. Yes. It's like one of my favorite things. And he's my last one in school still. The rest are all graduated. So
my youngest is 14, but he's almost 6 feet. And he's about 225, 230. He's 14. That's my youngest.
So, my youngest is 12. So I'm right there. And I'm just like,
that's it.
I'm looking forward. I'm going to get his breakfast ready so he can get out of bed and just hop right on it so he doesn't have to stress in the morning. But it's like, it's 20 minutes of my time and it's the best part of my day. So
listen, I understand because when I leave for work and when I leave at like 5:40 in the morning, I have to wake him up every morning. I grab his toe. So we have this little toe thing. I have to make sure he wakes up. I have to say have a good day at school every day during the week. Yeah. So I understand.
All right, brother. Well, I'm so grateful to have met you finally. I look forward to keeping in touch.
Absolutely. And you're solid, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. It looks like it's going to be a nice one.
See you as well, man. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the PHYS Podcast. If this conversation inspired you, taught you something, or made you see the world a little differently, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Follow us on all social medias at PHYS_podcast to stay connected with future episodes, behind-the-scenes content, and the growing creative community around the show. And remember, as always, photography heals your soul. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.